What is going on, everybody? We got some nice intro music to introduce ourselves this week. This is the Week 9 Circa Picks and Survivor Pool for the Fantasy Guru site. I am Russell Clay. We also have Rob Brink and Tyler Beaker. We are all part of fantasyguru.com. As you can see, 20% off Radio 20 at fantasyguru.com. Lots to talk about. Lots to decide as we go through each week. It just gets a little more difficult. I mean, we are dealing with QB apocalypse, boys and girls. This might be the worst QB play string of month that we've had since I've been alive. But Rob, what's going on, man? How are we doing?
Steelers win another game, 5-3. I mean,
unbelievable.
It's the silliest 5-3 team I've ever seen in my entire life, but they're doing it.
Tyler, you're both inherently 100% correct on them, and yet they're somehow still winning with a negative 30-point differential. How's this happening?
Hold on. I tweeted something or retweeted something last night. They are the only team right now that through the Super Bowl era to have a winning record through 8 games despite being outgained in every game. Unbelievable. Every game through 8 games so far at midway point in the year. Absolutely phenomenal. I saw like the final middle to the end of the fourth quarter, 92 yards for Kenny Pickett to make the drive. He comes through in the clutch. What a game. That was a fun one to watch, guys.
Well, Levis was just trying to throw an interception in the red zone. Like, you can't tell me he wasn't. Like, he just threw it right at the defenders 3 times.
Yeah, that's Will Levis for you. I mean, I actually am super impressed with him, and I think the Titans are in a better spot than I thought, but that guy just throws meatballs up there sometimes. So I guess we'll tuck that away for future weeks and maybe some interception props. But all right, let's get into it. So we mentioned, Steelers -2.5 in that game. They did end up covering. I mean, they ended up covering 3 too. It's just a wild state of affairs, but they did it. So, all right, moving on. Let's get into the first game. Dolphins Chiefs. Tyler, you got a 2 here. Mondo has a 3. Nobody else touched this game. Chiefs coming off a really weird road loss to a division rival. Well, it's not really a rivalry. They had lost 17 straight or something stupid like that. But this is a much different game. We've seen Miami's offense struggle against good defenses this year. But Tyler, where are you at with this one?
I like the Chiefs. I mean, when we get a chance to grab the best quarterback in the league under a field goal, sign me up, guys. Like, this Dolphins team, they've played 3 quality teams to date. One of them being the Chargers in week 1. That was a 36-34, really close game. They won that one, but they lost to the Bills 20-48. They lost to the Eagles 17-31. So we haven't really seen this team play some like great competition and live up to it, aside from that Chargers game in week 1. So to me, that's why I'm kind of siding with the Chiefs here. Yeah, they're coming off a terrible game against the Broncos, sure, but they've won. They were toying with the Broncos. Like we mentioned it prior to the like week 5, week 6 matchup that they had won like 16 in a row against Denver. They did not care about this team. They were probably looking ahead to this Germany game. I'm expecting the Chiefs to come out and win on the road here in Germany.
In Germany, yeah, Rob. Any reads on the bratwurst or anything betting lines wise going on over there?
No, I tell you, these international games for me are not something I ever want to mess with. So again, is Oktoberfest over? I think Oktoberfest is over. So I don't know, but I worry international. If this was at Arrowhead -1.5, fuck yeah, sign me up. But it's not, and I worry about the overseas travel. We do have a chat, guys, so you could ask us live questions. Russ responded to what's up, Tyler. I think you could type 2 if I am correct, but I'm not 100% on this thing. So, anyways, yeah, I'm off the international game.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to one of the most curious games of the week. We have the Kirk Cousins-less Vikings against this Falcons just infection of a team. Every week, it's just nobody knows what's going to happen in these Falcons games. Some weeks they look great and their running game's awesome. And other weeks, Desmond Ritter's fumbling. And now we get the Taylor Heineke show. Jeff has a 4 on the Falcons. I'm all in on the Falcons this week. Nobody else is touching this game. I just view like Vikings without Kirk Cousins. I don't know. Their quarterback situation is such a wild card. I feel like this could really be a 7-point spread if their quarterback play is as bad as, I'm thinking it might be. So what do you got, Rob? You stayed away from this one.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I could talk you guys on this in Survivor, which I don't think it's a terrible spot. But what, I don't know. I'm like you, Russ. Like, I don't know what the Vikings are going to do here. Are they going to run the ball well? Like, are they going to, I just don't see a real path to victory for Minnesota. So I don't hate it. I find it hard to put a 5 on this play, but I don't hate it.
Yeah. Tyler, you stayed away from this one as well. I am giving a bump to the offense with going from Heineke from Ritter, but we've seen Heineke before. We kind of know what that is as well. So what do you got?
Yeah, I view him as like a high floor fantasy option, but man, what are we looking for? 17 points here? Is that a win for the Falcons? Yeah, probably. The question here is, does 17 points cover a 4.5 spread where it could be like a 14-17 game? The Vikings, they want to be pass heavy under Kevin O'Connell. How does that look with Jaren Hall? I think it's going to be absolutely gross. I don't know. I'm not excited about this game. If I were to pick a side, I would almost want the Vikings to cover, because a low scoring game with a spread over 3 points makes me want to take the underdog. That's just like a principle kind of play, but I don't have any conviction here, guys.
How about Survivor?
Go ahead.
They're one of the options, but it's
Gross? All right.
It is gyros, as was stated. All right, so I looked at my sheet this morning, and we're on to this Seahawks Ravens game. And boys, the confidence has never been higher on the Ravens. We got 4 5s. Rob, Jeff, Tyler, and Mondo. 5s on the Ravens. We're firing away with this pick. Are we thinking this Ravens D takes advantage of poor Gino and Lamar's crushing against NFC? Tyler, is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's what's happening. This Ravens defense, they're number 1 in fewest points per drive allowed, number 2 in fewest yards per drive allowed. They're just not going to allow a lot of production here to Gino, who has been so hit or miss this year. This just feels like a miss outing here. The Ravens should be able to put up points galore. I don't see how the Seahawks cover. I don't see this at all.
I think Lamar and company look really good as well. I've been impressed. This is like the Lamar we've been waiting for all season. He's showing up big time. My fantasy teams thank him for that as well. But I think I don't see Gino getting it done here against this squad. I think, if this was a 7, I'd have a different thought, but I think they win this game by a touchdown.
Fair enough. And, they annihilated that Cardinals team last week. It looked closer than it actually was. That was an absolute demolition. So,
and that's 2 games in a row where the Ravens have gone super pass heavy. Their pass rate over expectation like +6 or +8% compared to weeks 1 through 6. It was -2 where they were leaning on the run game. They're finally passing. They feel confident. This is a team you can throw against.
All right. Next one here is just, we got Browns with, maybe a Russell Clay quality Deshaun Watson arm. Russ Clay could throw it about 25 yards in high school. I feel like we could be looking at that with Deshaun Watson. Browns 7.5-point favorites against this Cardinals team with maybe Clayton Tune. Rob, what do you got here on this game? Nobody touched it.
Yeah, I mean, what's really gross is we might take him in Survivor. which is also very gross to think about. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this spread. Gun to the head, Cleveland wins this game, but like I keep saying, like Arizona is like a backdoor cover machine. I don't know what the number is on that right now, but it seems like they keep finding ways to cover spreads, and I don't want anything to do with it. Not with the hook, that's for sure.
Yeah, Tyler, that extra half point feels like it's going to loom large with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, right?
I feel like a lot of people have more confidence that it's Clayton Tune starting than Kyler Murray, who's practicing in full, looks ready to go.
Sure.
That uncertainty for me is why I'm staying away.
Yeah. So if Kyler's there, they're live for sure. To win this game, honestly, if Kyler plays, just because the Watson thing, he was unable to play more than a series and he took a hit, but he was clearly hurt going into that game. How much healthier is he, now? So I don't know. We all stayed away from it, so it doesn't matter. I'd suggest you guys stay away from it too.
When will we know about Kyler?
Hopefully before we have to submit this pick.
Yeah.
Because I would take Kyler over PJ Walker. I would. Him to cover 7.5. I would take that.
Yeah, I'm thinking Survivor too. I mean, it could be very dangerous.
True.
Yep. All right. Next one here. Rams +3 at the Packers. Rob, you got a 3 here. Ted's got a 1. Armando's got a 1 on the Packers. Tyler, Jeff, and I stayed away from that one, Rob. So what's your read here?
It's a really gross game, but I don't know what the Packers have done to show me that they should be laying 3 even at home. Like, the Rams could cover this pretty easily. I think Green Bay has been very unimpressive to me.
Tyler?
Yeah, they're averaging like less than 4.5 points per game in the first half. Like, just they're not showing up at all offensively. Jordan Love is on par with all these backups that we're rolling through here for fantasy this week. He's right in the mix with these guys, to be frankful. I'm just not really interested in backing Green Bay. I don't know how you can. If I were to pick a side, I'm with Rob here. The Rams +3.
Yeah, and the thing with Stafford, I don't know that he's going to play. And if that's the case, are there any redeeming qualities left on this squad other than the illustrious Royce Freeman, of which, could run for 200 yards at any moment? But
we get 2 shit teams. Give me the one with the points.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Yeah. Jordan Love, not good. Not good. All right. Next one here. Bucks, Texans -2.5. Rob, you got a 2 here on the Texans. Ted's got a 3. Tyler a 4. Mondo a 4. They lost to the Panthers last week, but it was on the road, kind of a weird setting. And this Bucks team, are the Bucks kind of revealing themselves a little bit after a hot start here, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of liked the Bucks there for a little while, but I think I'm super impressed with Stroud and him at home under a field goal, like feels like a great opportunity, or particularly when you look at the board, like, this game's probably a 4.5, 5-point game in my estimation. It's under a field goal. Super happy to take Houston here.
Yep. Tyler?
Yeah. Prior to last week's collapse, I think the Texans are now 4-1 against the spread over the last 5. Bucks have lost 3 straight. I mean, this is a game I just want to bet the under and just kind of fade, but I would take the Texans side here. We're getting under a field goal. Phenomenal.
All right.
And Hal in chat says he might get if you have 2 shit teams, give me the one with the points tattooed on them. So hey, Hal, I got $200 if you do that, buddy. Go ahead, show me, send me as long as it's not your ass. If it's your ass, you don't get any money. But anywhere else, I got $200 for you. I'll pay.
You know what? If it's your ass, I'll throw in $50. You're covered. You're head either way. All right. Next game here. So I do have to laugh because when I first looked at this slate, I saw, Commanders traded their top 2 defensive linemen Howell's been good up and down fantasy wise, but real quarterback wise, struggling. Going to New England here. Patriots -3. Rob did throw it in our chat this week as a survivor pick and quickly got swatted down. But I see the vision, Rob. I see the vision on the Pats here. They're coming off. I mean, if you look at the Pats schedule in the first 8 weeks, absolutely brutal. Now, I'm not a Mac Jones guy by any means, but I will say I do feel like instead of inflated fantasy stats, he has the opposite. Like he's been just getting embarrassed by these top defenses. Mac Jones stinks, but against the skeleton Washington crew, I feel like maybe he can sustain some drives here. What do you got?
You know, people probably thought I was joking when I suggested New England as a survivor pick, but I'm not joking. If somebody could walk me through Washington's path to victory here, I'd love to hear it. And it looks like a lot of people think they cover 3. So if you think they cover 3, I don't know what this is on the money line, maybe -2, 210, something like that. If you think they cover 3, let's fucking roll the dice, boys.
Yeah. Tyler, you were on Washington. Clearly this Patriots team is, a shell of the former teams, but what do you got here?
Patriots offense just not showing up. They're 31st in points per drive. They're 2-6 against the spread. They just do not show up to cover either. This isn't a fun game at all, but I don't like anything we're seeing from New England. Their pass catching weapons have been decimated due to injury. Not expecting this team to put up a bunch of points here. In Washington, I mean, we're finally starting to see like Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson finally get going. I think we could see them air it out and have some success against a man-heavy Patriots defense that has struggled at times. Like they're not that great right now. They're down Christian Gonzalez, they're down Matt Judon. There's some holes there in that defense. I think that Washington, again, a low-scoring game, give me the points. It's kind of that same similar sentiment here. The over-under for this is 41. I don't know how the hell this is going to get to 41 points. Give me the under on that one as well. But Washington +3 for me.
Yeah, maybe a few pick sixes get us there to the over, Tyler. But beyond that, I agree. It's gonna be some rough offense. All right, next one here: Bears Saints. Jeff's a 3 on the Saints, covering 8.5. Russell is a 3 on the Saints, 8.5. Another Tyson Bagent game. I just worry that we saw the progression. Week 1, you can kind of get away with the backup, like messing around. Week 2, the set of plays Bagent has kind of wrapped up, and I feel like at this point, film's out. Saints D is pretty good. I haven't been on Saints much this year, but this one I do feel like Kamara grinded out. Derek Carr hits a few to Rashid Shaheed. Shout out Tyler. I got a few of them in best ball this off season, and I was like, Rashid Shaheed, and he looks pretty good. So that's a dub. Rob, what do you got on this game? You didn't touch it.
I mean, if you're going to lay 2 scores, this is probably the game to do it in. I don't know with the board we have to lay 2 scores, but I can't argue against the Bears being fucking awful. So this is probably our survivor pick, but the Bears are awful. But I don't know if we need to lay 2 scores here.
Tyler.
This really kind of reflects more of his Raiders tenure, but over the last 20 years, Derek Carr is the least profitable quarterback against the spread. Just thought that was notable. He's not great at covering. 1-9-1 against the spread as a favorite of 3 points or more over the last 2 seasons. Just not really covering massive spreads. A low-scoring game. The Saints have routinely hit the under. I'm not going to fault anyone who wants to go with the Saints because it's Tyson Bagent, who sounds like a Madden created player. Like I don't think he's a real person. All right, here's my issue. I think the Saints defense really their coverage is absolutely phenomenal. They're allowing the second lowest completion percentage against. Very, very few passing attacks are actually able to take flight against them. To see Bagent do that would be very, very surprising. And I think the Saints are able to get up early and put them into a passing script where they can't call it back. That's the way I see this covering. But a low scoring game and like Rob said, two scores, that spells trouble, trend wise.
Rob, any other thoughts there?
No. No more thoughts here. I'm just now debating a survivor pick, but no thoughts.
All right, cool. All right, we got the Colts 2.5-point road favorites against this Panthers team that now has just peak of his powers, Adam Thielen, scoring 35 fantasy points a game. Rob, you're on the Colts here. I got a 2 confidence on the plus money here just because I thought their defense looked pretty good last week, but I'm not. The conviction is not strong. This is a swinging gate here. So what do you got?
Look, Carolina shouldn't have won that game last week, in my opinion. I watched the whole game. Like, they luck boxed into a win kind of there. Bryce Young still the quarterback in Carolina? I think so. So I realize Indy, who's the quarterback for Indy now? I might not even know his name. Like, Gardner Minshew still probably, right? Yep. And I realize that dude's a fucking disaster as well, but he could light it up here there too. So I don't know. I just weigh this one and go, Carolina's still very bad at football. Give me Indy here, laying less than a field goal.
Tyler, anything, any thoughts here?
Yeah, the Panthers last week, they really dared the Texans to run at them. And that combination of Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary behind that putrid offensive line just could not get it done. Not the same case with the Colts. Not the same case with Jonathan Taylor and all-pro Zach Moss running this year. That duo, man, it's terrible for fantasy as JT is just not getting the 20 touches we expected, but they should have a lot of success against the Panthers. I like this under a field goal. I'm with Rob here. Give me the Colts -2.5.
Like trying to get the cat in the cat carrier before you go to the vet. You just can't get Zach Moss out of the freaking lineup, man. Just get out of there, dude. It's enough. All right. Anyway.
What are the Panthers going to do with Young? Like, I'm serious. This guy is not equipped to be an NFL quarterback. I mean, they fucked up drafting this guy.
It's going to be weird because I don't think a team's ever given up on a number 1 pick after 1 year. I don't think, maybe it's a new era, but I feel like you kind of have to see it through.
Josh Rosen, first one that comes to mind.
Well, first overall though, but fair. Yeah, okay, that was close. Josh Rosen is about as close as we got to it was just nothing. Instantly over.
I just don't see how this ever works in the Panthers' favor.
Yeah, unless you just get an amazing coach who can hide it all,
and add 8 inches to him.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. All right. Giants, Raiders. Ted's got a 2 here on the Raiders. Kind of an interesting play. Raiders fired their coach. GM's gone too. The players are celebrating in the streets. It's a weird time, Tyler, but this Giants team could have Daniel Jones back. Mm-hmm. Their defense has been playing better, so I don't want to outright cast them off. No Darren Waller. What are we doing?
It really comes down to the quarterback play. If we've got Aiden O'Connell, preseason god, going against Tommy DeVito, who needs 6 quarters of play to manage what some are able to do in a half, it's just gross for the Giants if Daniel Jones' neck injury lingers. I agree with you, though. The Giants defense has turned a corner. They're starting to play a little bit better. But I like Aiden O'Connell. We got the narrative of the new head coach, Pierce, going against his former Giants team. And there's some trends that back new head coaches in their first game in terms of playing against the spread. And some -2 spreads. Raiders are at home. It's the Giants, for crying out loud. They're the worst team in yards per drive or points per drive, one of those 2 categories. To see Tommy DeVito lead it, I'm taking Ted's side. Give me the Raiders.
Rob, anything there?
I think part of this is we watched the Raiders. They didn't play a bad football game. They quit playing football. And maybe that was, let's get McD the fuck out of town here. Probably part of that was that. Devontae looked hyper dejected. My dude is running wide open down the sideline. And he's just like, what the fuck? Throwing helmets on the sideline. But, I think we thought this was a talented team coming into the season, and the talent's still there. although Jacobs is just like a 2-yard fucking machine too, isn't he? Like that, this guy's not breaking shit. So anyways, like, part of this is Las Vegas played one of the worst games I've ever seen. Spread's probably a little depressed because of that. Should maybe be 3.5 here, not 2. So I don't mind taking Las Vegas against Danny DeVito. So I'm okay with it.
And here's the thing. The last time the Raiders were in interim coach mode, Rich Pisaccia had a few game run where it was like, oh shit, is this it? Maybe this is. So maybe the Raiders just shouldn't do long-term deals. They should do like 3-game contracts and just do committee. Like when they run the 3 or 4 quarterbacks, like they're sending the Taysom Hill. They got Antonio Pierce this week. They're bringing in, Michael Strahan 3 weeks from now. Keep it going. So,
I mean, you guys see the money they're paying Gruden and frickin' McDaniels not to work. I mean, it's staggering. It was like $58 million. It might have been more than that. It was some stupid number that they're paying these 2 guys not to come to work. I mean,
nice tax harvesting, but beyond that, that's pretty rough. All right, let's see. Cowboys, Eagles, Eagles -3. Jeff has a 1, Ted has a 5, Tyler a 1, Mondo a 2. I actually picked the Cowboys with the plus money in the staff pick 'em, but the last couple times these teams have played, it's been a weird vibe. And Philly really, their offense right now is lobbing it up to AJ Brown, which seemingly just works every time right now, and running out the clock. So I don't know. Can Dallas's front kind of rush this a little bit? I guess that's my only lean here, but clearly Philly's the better team. And, Tyler?
Yeah, oddly enough, we've only seen one game where it's been Dak Prescott versus Jalen Hurts, because either one of these 2 quarterbacks is usually injured by the time we get to the second game in the division. I put a 1 here, but I could be argued for Dallas +3 as well, because last time these teams played, it was Dallas 41, Eagles 21. When those 2 quarterbacks that I mentioned are starting. Yeah. The Eagles this year, like you said, AJ Brown, he's got a near 50% target share when playing man coverage. Dallas does it at one of the highest rates, and they're really good at slowing it down. So this is like a strength versus strength kind of matchup here. I think it's going to be a fun game, but I do think there's going to be a lot of points here, and because of that, I kind of want to swing Philadelphia's way. They're really good at like limiting possessions for the opponents just because of their style of play. And if they can get Dallas to like do a quick 3 and out with some inefficient Tony Pollard runs, which, man, I've been waiting for Pollard to take that step forward. It just hasn't happened. If they make Dallas one-dimensional, I think that we could see Eagles cover. It's a fun one though. This is going to be a really close one, I think.
Rob?
Yeah, I think about Dak. Like, who is Dak? He's such a anomaly to me. And why don't they throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb? Like, he's like my number 1 best ball share with CD. I don't know what his targets look like right now, but it doesn't seem like they're utilizing him nearly as much as they should be. If I'm on a side here, I'm on Dallas because I think they can keep pace. This is a last possession kind of game. Does scream like field goal with 10 seconds left to me. And generally, I want to be on the dog in that situation, taking the 3, obviously. So I don't know. If I had the pick, I'd pick Dallas. I just like a few other spots here better. And one thing just popped in my head that's totally unrelated, but dude, the last freaking touchdown Deontay Johnson caught was from Ben Roethlisberger. Are you shitting me? I couldn't believe it when I heard that stat last night. I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we finally ended the streak, but he had 1,200 yards without a touchdown, and the league average like yards per touchdown is like 170. I mean, just brutal stuff. All right, let's go to my game of the week. I cannot wait for this game. Bengals Bills. Bengals took the 49ers to the woodshed, which I feel like is an outdated term. I don't know if we can still say that in 2023, but yeah, that's exactly.
Who the fuck has a woodshed anymore? I mean, they don't even exist anymore, do they?
That's like a 1980s saying right there. But yeah, so Bengals -1.5. Ted's got a 4 here on the Bengals. If I'm on a side, it's definitely them. But, it's still Josh Allen. It's still Steph Diggs. This is still a good team. Tyler kind of mentioned this on the live stream. They're kind of shifting to a different offense that is going to actually utilize their pieces a lot better offensively. And defense still good. They've lost some key pieces, but it's still pretty good. Rob, anything here?
This is a really hard game for me to call. Josh Allen's been very frustrating to watch this year. That Bills offense has been very frustrating to watch. And Cincinnati obviously was anemic for 7 weeks. So it's tough, right? I mean, if Cincinnati comes out firing, Bills can keep pace. So I'm looking for points. This will be like the number 1 or number 2 DFS slate here after the KC game probably. But personally, I don't want a piece of it. Ted Schuster's got a 4 on Cincy. I just don't see how you could have that much confidence on Cincinnati against this Bills team.
Yeah. Tyler?
Yeah, you guys kind of nailed a lot of it. Buffalo's pretty decimated, though, in terms of their secondary with multiple corners down, their top 2. That screams a great game for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, especially against a team that plays a lot of too high looks. They're going to do a lot of intermediate stuff, a lot of dinks and dunks for converting for the first down. Look at those reception props, guys. One thing I'm interested in, though, is how this Buffalo Bills team looks now that they're done with the big jumbo 11.5 personnel with 2 tight ends, with Kincaid being their slot. They now got Shakir doing that. I think he had a 70% snap share this past outing. Moved Kincaid back into the slot. The Bengals are top 3, top 5 in production allowed at the tight end. And what I'm excited to see, though, is the way that their offense is structured. It'll allow Josh Allen to run more, where he's been kind of dialing that back. That element has been missing from their game. That element has really hampered, I think, their ability to sustain drives and keep them moving and on clock and on pace for touchdowns. This could be a fun
2 weeks
game.
ago, he ran a lot, and they had a ton of success.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and here's the thing with these quarterbacks, right? We know Josh Allen running is just impossible. It makes the offense impossible to stop. I think the Bills are at this point where it's all right, we know if we absolutely need it, we can do this, but do we want our franchise quarterback barreling down the field? And I think they're kind of at the point now where they've dropped a few, and it's all right, let's take the Maserati out of the garage here. We can't fuck around anymore. We got to do this. So yeah, that's pretty good logic there.
It's a great teasing spot too. Buffalo plus 7.5.
Yeah. Oh man.
Actually, you can get 8.5 because DK still has 2.5 on Buffalo as of this morning when I fired one in.
Wow.
I'm gonna tail that.
I wonder if they moved it. Hold on. It's down to 2, but still you get 8.
8, man. Okay, 2 scores, I'm in. So that's the move. That's our play. Last one here. I got a lonesome 1 on the Chargers -3.5 against the Jets.
It's a great argument.
No, I'm erasing this one. Else. The
words came through for us last week, though.
Listen. Silently putting this in the spreadsheet at 11:30 last night, I didn't feel the shame I do now of trying to pick the Chargers in prime time. No way. We're out, boys. We're out. What do you got, Tyler?
Another team that plays a lot of too high. So look for a lot of Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen dump offs. That's what I think we're going to see here. I'm imagining this game hits the under. I'm not really excited to play Justin Herbert in any kind of seasonal formats. He's really struggled against teams that play this type of shell look. I don't really have a good lean here. That's why I stayed away from it. That's a good number, I think, 3.5.
I think it's a good number too. If I was going to be on a side, it'd be on the Jets.
We got a comment in the chat here. Chris Maloney. I feel like is that referencing Rob here? Are you saying Rob's Chris Maloney? Have you ever gotten that comp before, Rob?
I have no idea who Chris Maloney is.
The guy from Law and Order. That's a compliment. All right.
I suppose. I don't even know if I've ever seen a Law and Order episode.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, we're just going to move on from there. So we have an interesting situation here. Survivor, we tallied up all the scores from our staff, and we are sitting at a 15 confidence on the Browns -7 and a 15 confidence on the Saints 8.5. Are we going to have to open up the coin flip generator and go there? Or, I mean, if I have a lean, I put the 3 on the Saints. But Rob, you put a 3 on the Saints. Where are you at?
So, and I don't think it matters to us right now, but Saints are going to be 50+% picked in Survivor this week. I went through the schedule trying to figure out where else we might use the Saints. I don't know that I landed on a good spot. They're going to be heavily, heavily owned. Them and the Browns, it'll be like 50% and 35%, and then everyone else will shake out somewhere else. It's probably too early to worry about it and take a swing somewhere. But that's why I have some confidence on the Falcons, just because it would be, it'll be a catastrophe for survivor pools if New Orleans loses this week. With that said, it's probably the side.
Tyler.
This is one we need to wait to figure out who the quarterback is for Arizona.
Great point.
Because if it's Clayton Tune, sign me up for the Browns. Like, they're at home. PJ Walker hasn't lost a home game since like 2016. Like, through his NFL career, his XFL career. That's a BS stat, but I'm saying it anyway. But it really comes down to the quarterback play. Like, who are we getting for Arizona? If we get Clayton Tune, I want to attack that. Otherwise, I'm with you guys on the Saints. Tyson Badgett, isn't not a real quarterback, as I said earlier.
Yeah. So, I mean, his dad is the absolute man. So maybe if his dad was starting, I'd be in. But no, in terms of that. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. In terms of the Circa picks this week, we have a 20 confidence in the Ravens covering -6, a 13 in the Texans -2.5. We have the Eagles -3. And let's see, we have Falcons -4. And then we have the Commanders +3. No, we have the Patriots -3. So those are our staff picks right now. We almost erroredly went on Washington there, but that is definitely the Pats to cover. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we kind of head out here?
No, these weeks just keep getting grosser and grosser, man. Like, Survivor's getting hard. It's very hard, which is probably why you should take the free wins if there is one on the board. And I think New Orleans is probably the closest thing to that. But it's hard.
I will throw out there, we kind of have a diamond in the rough with this Bengals team, not using them in the first 8-9 weeks. If we can kind of keep going here, that's a squad I'm going to feel really confident in the second half of the year. I don't know what their schedule is, but that's a nice team to have in our back pocket. Tyler?
They play Houston next week, which might not be a bad spot to use them. They'll be 4.5, 6-point favorites there, right?
Yep. Tyler?
That's not a bad look ahead bet right now, actually. Nothing else to add. You guys covered it all pretty well. Let's hope the Saints cover. Let's hope that okay, let me just say that if you're a person that bets against the spread a lot, this might be a week to dial back because it's pretty gross with all these backup quarterbacks.
Dude, I did find some decent teasers. I think there's some decent teaser spots out there. If you're a 6-point teaser guy like me, I mean, I took Miami up, I took Buffalo up, I took Cleveland down, I took New Orleans down. I mean, those are pretty good spots to get through some key numbers.
Yep. All right. Awesome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. As we said, this is the Circa and Survivor Pick'em show. Like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. We're out there above the paywall for you, so definitely check that out. Share it, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. We're also, going to be posting this in article form on the site. So interact, say what's up. And for Rob, Tyler, and Russell Clay, we'll see you guys next time.